Hello, and welcome to Miss Jones' South Carolina History course. Today we're going to dive into the Eastern Woodland culture, the original natives of South Carolina prior to colonization. The people of the Eastern Woodlands lived in the land between the Atlantic Ocean and the Mississippi River. This territory stretched from Canada all the way to the bottom tip of Florida. Although they all lived in similar ways near valleys, great rivers, and lakes, the many native groups within this culture were extremely different. The native cultural groups that live here and reside in South Carolina, they lived in different areas of the state. The Cherokee lived in the Blue Ridge and Upper Foothills, the Catawba in the Piedmont, Yamasee in the coastal plains and coastal zone. This made their entire way of life different, from their diets and what they hunted, all the way down to what they wore. Today, we will focus on how they adapted to the regions in which they lived and how it affected the three key concepts: the type of clothing they wore, how they built their homes, and how they survived off the land for resources, and how they interacted with other tribes. To begin, let's start off with the Cherokee. They were a large and powerful tribe who originally moved from the Great Lakes region to the southern Appalachian Mountains. For clothing, they used deerskin or bark fabric to make their clothing. Breechcloths, leggings, and moccasins were created from these materials and worn. For the shelter, the Cherokee tribe lived in the houses made by weaving river cane, wood, and vines into a framework and coating the frame with mud. The roof was either thatched with grass or shingled with bark. Long houses were made in the summer, and the wattle and daub houses were used during the winter, which featured an earth or fire pit to keep the family warm throughout the winter. For Cherokee survival, the Cherokee survived mostly from hunting deer, bear, buffalo, elk, squirrels, rabbits, and other small game and fish. Their staple food was that they planted corn, squash, and beans. The second group of Eastern Woodland, known as the people of the river or Catawba, were once one of the most powerful tribes in the southeast. Catawba clothing, men wore loincloths made of deerskin, while women wore one-sided shoulder knee-length skirts of the same material. They also wore jewelry made of shells, beads, and copper. The early Catawbas lived in villages surrounded by a wooden wall. Their homes were pole framed and bark was used to cover their homes. The Catawbas survived by being farmers. They planted crops like corn and squash along the banks of the river. They also fished and hunted. Unlike most tribes, the men did most of the farming work, while women weaved baskets and mats for trade. The final group of Eastern Woodland people located in South Carolina are the Yamasee tribe. Not much is known about the people that lived here, but they know that they were living near the rivers and that they were the very first multicultural societies. This is due to escaped slaves who joined this tribe and resulted in the Yamasee people being a variation of shades and colors, pretty much like America today. Their clothing was made of an assortment of animal pelt from deerskin to squirrel hides. Feathers and shells were also used as accessories. During the summer, the people lived on the beach in wigwams covered with palmetto leaves. During the fall, winter, and spring, they lived further inland in wattle and daub homes near rivers like the Cherokee. How they survived. Many Yamasee were skilled hunters and fishermen. They hunted deer, bears, raccoons. They even caught turtles and fish. Clams and oysters were a major staple in their diet. That will conclude lessons of the major Native American groups within the Eastern Woodlands culture, who were the original settlers of South Carolina. Next time, we will focus on how these groups responded differently to European interaction. Have a good day.